It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all as well in the chat.
So, yeah, we're just going to be talking about Nemesis. We've got a lot of different people on, so open invitational. So I'm going to introduce everyone, and then...
our first guest.
We're going to get down to... Oh, yeah, first guest, we've got... Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm James, also known as Dark Shadow. Hello.
And we've got, in no particular order, Andy, Laura, and Darcy, Christopher Joneses.
Hi.
How you doing? We have got, just for today only, Craig does stuff.
Hello, just me. He's here in spit. Oh, hang on, which way around are we? He's here a little bit. Though.
Next, we've got Quinn. How you doing, Kieran Quinn?
Hello.
How you been?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And he's popped on briefly. We've got David Blythe. How you doing, David?
Hello there, everyone. Yeah, not bad, thanks.
Oh, good to see you.
I'll start with David because he said he might not be able to be on for long. Do you want to just tell us how excited you are for this weekend?
Yeah, I'm quite excited to be going back to Towers for opening day. I know it's going to be a busy one, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going and seeing what Nemesis is about. I mean, new track and all that. Will it ride the same? But I don't know. It's going to be different. But it's interesting how they've themed it and the music and that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's about.
And I'll go through everyone, I guess.
Yeah, go on. Same question for everyone.
Yeah, I'll start with the Joneses.
Being excited is an understatement. I literally feel like I'm 8 again, and it's Christmas, and I get like the best Christmas present. Yeah.
But you already know what you're getting.
I do. I opened it. It's red and black.
Is Darcy looking forward to it?
You looking forward to it? Nah, it's not a favourite coaster, but yeah, I think she's looking forward to it.
What?
Wow. Wow.
You don't want to know what a favourite coaster is?
Well, no, you said it now. Go on. What is it?
Yeah. So Darcy's favourite coaster is Vampire. And if Vampire didn't exist,
Okay. No, that's
technically Nemesis wouldn't exist. So.
How can
Vampire
you
is a good ride.
Better than Nemesis? I can't look again.
To be fair.
And what's Laura's favourite ride?
Yeah, probably Nemesis. I have got a soft spot.
He's got like impression by Andy looking at you then. He's like looking at you like, yeah, it's probably Nemesis.
I told them all to say Nemesis, and they're not doing what I told them. It's not right.
And I'll ask Craig, what are you expecting this weekend? What are you excited about Nemesis?
Just the whole thing. I mean, we're not, because obviously Adam's not here. Adam's gone to a family event, so we're not going to be there this weekend, which I'm gutted about because the atmosphere looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. Although I've got to admit, I'm not going to miss the queues that we're probably going to see this weekend. So we'll see it next weekend. So I'm probably going to live vicariously through you all this weekend on Twitter and Instagram.
I wouldn't want to look. I wouldn't want to look. I'd be like, no, I don't want to look.
Yeah, understand.
I think we've seen most of it now, though, haven't we? I don't think there's much that we can not know by this point. Do you think?
I don't
Silence.
Like the bit where you could see it in a puddle. But, I mean, there's not much.
I was thinking more the things like
but...
we had it with Curse as well. There were a lot of rumours that were hashtag made up completely. That got spread like the one about because they're opening it at night. People going, are they going to have UV paint that's going to show up under blacklight? And now I'm thinking they've shown it at night, but then they didn't light it up with blacklight, so I don't know. If it doesn't happen, a lot of people have said it's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a few bits we still haven't. There's a few bits of it we haven't seen because we haven't seen the eye yet. We didn't see the eye on that drone footage, did we? And we haven't seen the new. In fact, we haven't seen it. Have we really seen it from that angle at all? Like the exit ramp and all that sort of.
No,
there's photos from the exit ramp. ITV have just done a bit which shows the interior of the station, which we'll get to that. So it's basically just the supposed new eye we haven't seen, and they've been very particular about not showing that. So
did you want to introduce our next guest?
Our next guest. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking. This is like the tiny.
The laptop's quite far away, actually.
Our next guest is Ewan McGregor.
Hey there, Ewan.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
How are we all doing?
Yeah, we're good, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Are you going to be there this weekend, Ewan?
Hell yeah.
Hey!
Hey.
What are you looking
By
forward
hook
to?
or by crook?
What are you looking forward to the most about Nemesis?
Just seeing everybody.
Not
Like,
about
I'm excited.
Nemesis.
Yeah, the ride, that's all right, but seeing everyone, that's the main thing.
Well, it feels like everybody's been following this project for so long, and it means so much to so many of us that I think you've got all these generations of all these coaster kids that have been growing up. So you've got the original, I guess, generation that opened when Nemesis that were there when Nemesis opened first time, and then us, yeah, exactly. Hey. And then there's like our generation who grew up loving Nemesis, and then obviously it's been taken down. And then you're gonna have the kids who never got to ride Nemesis that have just come into that height, kind of that height limit now over the last 2 years, that are gonna get to experience it for the first time. So
Just want
I'm
to say,
very
because you
excited.
mentioned it then, if it doesn't already exist, someone should make the channel Coaster Kids with a Z. It would be a cool name. These are Coaster Kids then.
I'm stealing that.
It's like the Kids Bop sort of CDs, isn't it?
What are you looking forward to most, Kieran, about Nemesis?
I kind of agree with you in a little bit, because it'll be nice to see everyone and have such a hive of activity in Valley, which we've not seen since its closing. The ride itself, I mean, it's still Nemesis. I'm interested to see what's changed, but everything we've seen that's changed, I'm not megally like, oh my god, I can't wait. I'm like, oh right, okay. So I'm just interested to see what the general vibe is and what people really think of it, and not just go with the flow. Because I think one of the things I don't want to see is people just jumping on a bandwagon and going, it's incredible, it's the best thing since sliced bread, when actually it may not be. And we need to really address the elephants in the room, that we know what Nemesis was and is. This needs to be a continuation. Is it going to be a continuation? Is it still going to be just as good? And most importantly, does it ride as good as it used to? That's my biggest worry. Being on a newer B&M model, it was rough for the wrong reasons. It had a lot of vertical motion in it. From a POV I've just seen of new Nemi, it seemed to have that. But gotta consider it's 2 ride vehicles in motion. The camera's also, I don't know what rigs they're using that might have bounce in. There's all sorts of things to consider. So I'm really interested to see how it compares, mostly.
Do you think they'll keep the imperfection?
I don't know. They did on another ride. I don't want to name the other ride because it's an okay experience. But
no, I'm talking about when I say imperfection.
But yeah, if it has a bounce and they don't get rid of it, that will be a disappointing addition that shouldn't be there.
Do you know about the imperfection I'm talking about?
Possibly. Is it to do with the vertical loop?
After the vertical loop, and it goes under the bridge, and I'll get rid of that comment. I just wanted to put that comment up because Stakesy watches this from work, and he's been told he's not allowed to anymore, so he's dicing with death there. But
and you've just outed him to everyone now.
Yes, boss is watching.
His managers have just heard that and gone, right!
The imperfection, after it goes under the bridge, after the loop, it's probably to not go too fast, I guess. Although I can't imagine it going much faster. That big turn, the bank turn, it quickly unbanks and banks again, but in such a weird way. And I always used to call it the imperfection. And once you see it, you can just see the coaster kind of go, no, you can see it off-ride as well. But I don't know
I know what you're on about. That's still the same. Because the track.
Oh, the imperfection's still there.
Isn't that because it was built in Roller Coaster Tycoon originally? That's how it's designed, right? You got to bank it in.
And to let us know, John Maudley's here.
Oh my God,
it was designed on pretty proprietary software, wasn't it, back in the day? So who knows?
So I'll ask Kieran first, but anyone just feel free to jump in.
Even in the
what do you think about them still opening the entrance at Forbidden Valley for opening day?
As in the Galactica gates?
Yeah.
So, you're going to have an issue with... Go for it.
You jump in whatever you want, yeah.
I've literally been designing how I would do this myself in my head, like to get it right. All right, so this is my pitch, all right, and then sorry, everybody else can go on. So this is how I would be doing it if I was owning Alton Towers right now. I would make sure it was closed. The hotel gate was closed, and I would put out a tweet or a message or an email or whatever that says everybody that's coming on opening day, the park gates will be open at 9 o'clock, and they'll gather everybody at the bottom of Tower Street just as they used to do in the old days, kind of like a rope drop. But the rope drop is actually a load of phalanx officers stood there. A little show on the main thing, and then they will actually walk everybody, escort everybody that wants to go down to Forbidden Valley down. I do have and they'll just all follow with the phalanx all the way down to Forbidden Valley, whatever path. All the other paths are sealed off, so it's just like fireworks. Because effectively, they're going to have 14,000 people. Oh, inside information.
All day, lads. Strap yourselves in.
There we go. So they're going to have all these people that are literally all going to want to go to Nemesis first thing. So if they make a show of it and a spectacle of it, and have basically the phalanx saying, "You can't move. You're going at our pace. We're in control of this facility." Escort people down, and then that's how you avoid people running, people getting hurt. Making it a show element as well, and stopping the whole kind of hotel spite thing that's going to create division and animosity. And well, I've been here since 5 o'clock, and well, I was staying in the hotel because I've got money. And it's like, but anyway, sorry.
The ceremony part of the showmanship of it, to have another crowd come from that way is a bit.
Yeah.
Wow, that was not where.
So it feels like the whole resort is involved, like the whole park is involved. And then, those that want to go to Forbidden Valley to continue the opening. And then what would be really awesome is they gathered everybody where we were kind of stood on that last night with the eye. The eye is shut because I imagine that's what's going to be there. There's going to be a big teeth with some kind of projected eye or some kind of visual eye. And then somebody comes along, whether it be John or John Burton or John Wardley, I don't mind, or Bianca even. And she says Nemesis is, or the phalanx, Nemesis is now reborn. And they hit a button and the eye wakes up. And then fireworks and a creature scream and da da da. Yeah, there we go. I'm not a dramatic soul, but that's how it would be.
Do you think they should do?
Do you know what? That's what should happen, but we all know it isn't going to.
Do you think they should do midnight openings for roller coasters like they do for video games and cinema?
I don't see why they do it. It's free publicity.
Because then you get everyone go there at night and actually have fireworks.
Yeah, it could do.
I think it would have been wise for them to, knowing how many people are going to go just for Nemesis and basically neglect the rest of the park, is to have had a day, say Friday, the day before General Park, just for Nemesis and have it as the grand reopening for Nemesis. That way you can control as many people are going to be on the park. You know they're going one way and one way only. And potentially would have managed that so they enter through the Galactica gates. That way you're not having to walk across park and then have to faff around with, you've got 5 access pathways. People aren't going to follow you. You can say, follow us and you're going this way. They will hop in a bush and hop over. People will do that. They think they know best and they will put their own safety in jeopardy for that. And they'll get to Forbidden Valley first, all for that. Oh, I got here first. Yeah, but now you've got to go right to the back of Tower Street because you shouldn't be here. To put in the logistics in to realistically control everyone to go to one area whilst the rest of the park's open, it's just is a nightmare. We see it at fireworks all the time. All the barriers, all the extra security you have to have. You would have to double that for this because it isn't just saying goodbye to a ride. Everyone there is going to want to go on that ride. There's no question about that.
I'm not going to go on it if I have to queue because I go so often anyway.
I just had a really weird vision in my head. Do you know, like they had those bands that they got for the last day? Why don't they issue the bands out at the gate? And then obviously that could be like what groups they're in. So they're with a particular group of phalanx sort of staff and then get escorted down that way sort of thing. But that wouldn't be the case, would it? But like you said, people are going to jump hedges. People are going to erode the ground.
For a small scale event, that would absolutely work. Absolutely work. Where you tell people, great, we're going to email you a wristband ticket or whatever, get that in the turnstiles. Hey, you're Group A, meet at Lawns at this time. You'll be escorted down Forbidden Valley. Yeah. That would be fine. Small scale, but this is not going to logistically work like that. But it's a very good idea for it. Absolutely good. Yeah. They must answer the original question, Mike, though, about should the gates be open for the hotel guests? No. In my opinion, Those gates should be open for wrap users only, who have pre-books, who have gone through the system properly, who cannot queue for the monorail, because people who are going to queue for that's going to be ridiculous. There isn't, to my knowledge, a wrap access to the monorail.
No.
Somewhat understandably, somewhat not. The whole point of having that wrap is you don't queue with a group of people. Your queue is different. That's how that works. It's not a fast track. So a lot of people can't queue for the monorail, and they can't walk up to the entrance unless they've got shuttle buses, which are fully accessible as well for that issue. That could be a thing they implement, where monorail to everyone, but if you've got a wrap from this time to this time, you can get on a special transit system for you to go up to the gates. But you have a gate there. Use it for the right people. Anyone staying at the hotel should be advised, if you haven't got a wrap, you have to get up to the main entrance. That's just it. And also, the difficult thing is, saying wrap users should go through that gate opens up another can of fish. Because there is now an entrance portal to Forbidden Valley. No doubt whatever they're planning will involve coming through Gloomy Wood, seeing that entrance portal, and going into Forbidden Valley as part of their linear story. If you're coming up the rear from it instead, you're seeing a lot of things out of order for the first time. I
would have thought it's going to look weird to people doing it the proper way, because they're going to see general public as part of the story.
Well, yeah.
Unless they open that gate later.
I think the happy medium here would be for everyone to come through the Forbidden Valley portal, is to close, and this is controversial, close the Curse Altar Manor until later on in the afternoon. There is a gate there which will allow you to enter through Gloomy Wood, which means for a bulk in the morning, you don't have to go right to the entrance. You can put on shuttle buses that'll take you there, take you through Gloomy Wood, and then you can access with everybody else through the correct area. So you're not missing anything. It will, however, mean you see backstage areas, and that isn't great. But that would mean everyone could go through Forbidden Valley, which I think is the right thing. But I don't think just because you're staying in the hotel, you should be entitled to go through a different entrance this weekend. I think after this weekend, a fair game, but you pay for an access. You know, if it's part of your package, you get a different gate to go through. That's fair enough. But
they'll probably do that now. You've given the idea.
We've got Emily from Access All Areas. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Well, pay me for it.
Wrap cannot be used for Galactica Gate this year as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it can't.
And obviously, you shook your head about the curse just then.
My beloved curse.
There's no virtual queue at Alton Towers. No.
Yeah.
The park's open till 8, so the curse. It's a capacity eater anyway. It opening, say, at 12 instead of at 10 with everything else, or 11.
I mean, I feel like it normally opens at 12 anyway, because they normally do a late opening on it anyway most of the time. So.
Exactly, yeah. They do a thing of staggered openings, so they look at the demographic of where people go in the morning first, so they can plan the maintenance better, so they can go, right, this requires 3 hours worth of checks in the morning, but this ride also needs to open. We'll start that at this time, at that time, so they can stagger it. So by the time people have done that experience and moved on, that attraction's ready to open. It works and it doesn't work. Personally, in my opinion, if you're running an event of any scale and you advertise your opening Blackpool at a certain time, all your rides open at that time. No ifs, no buts. Especially in the theme park world at the moment, you've had 4 or 5 months to get your crap together. Why aren't things ready? Towers and other Merlin properties probably don't have that issue, but we all know what Blackpool was like because I was there as well. So, you know,
I heard it compared to Willy Wonka's chocolate experience. It was compared to that.
What is that? It is the
No.
Kids crying. It's just everyone crying on that day. It was awful.
So I'll ask the Joneses. What are you hoping for with the opening ceremony, if there is one?
I don't know, because I don't think we're going to get to see it because I can't run that fast.
No, they're going to delay that.
We'll get you there, Andy. Don't worry.
Well, Darcy's got a theory in that when Nemesis is opened by the gladiators, so she's hoping the gladiators are going to be there to open at this time as well.
But with you and saying there's 14,000 people there, right?
Which we don't know.
You also don't know.
There probably will be around.
The majority of them.
You also don't know that they're trying to get Nemesis running for 9:30. That is the go that I have heard upon a very close vine that they're trying, because they're literally they are crapping themselves. Excuse my French. But yeah, they are very anxious about how the crowds are going to move towards Forbidden Valley in the morning.
Well, I'm more anxious about.
They haven't learned from fireworks closing.
No,
everyone and their dog ran over to Nemesis when it was that last live operation after fireworks. And
so their hope is to try and try and basically have Nemesis moving from the start as soon as the gates are open. So I don't even know if there will be an opening ceremony because of the fact that they just want to start turning through the queue as quickly as they can.
For a modern audience, this is what the open ceremony should be. They want everyone to download the Alton Towers Resort app. That's just gospel now. You go to any attraction. I hate applications at a theme park. You should be having your phone to make phone calls, photos. That's it. You shouldn't be on your phone going, what's this queue time? Where's this? Look at all this immersive thing around you. Take it in. You can't get to a supermarket. I mean, you used to back in the day. Do you remember Asda? This is a slight tangent. Remember Asda had like the chickens and cows and like the
you press the handle.
It was in like the dairy area. You press a button, it makes a noise. It's like in the wall.
If you don't remember it, you missed out on childhood.
Yes, I do.
They want everyone to have an app nowadays. There's nothing wrong because you can push notifications onto there. Push a notification on with a video that if you are there at that time, you'll get a notification, open the app, boom. Beep, 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 beep. It's Phalanx. Nemesis is now opening, and have it as a proper, unique social media access on the app. So everyone at the same time can experience it, regardless of where they are on property.
I'm also thinking
would be the modern way to do it, but the way to implement that is a lot. It takes a lot of resource to do. If you have one glitch and the app crashes, again, you're buggered. So
I'm thinking if there's that many people, most of them are getting there for opening, if not all of them. And I'm thinking about how much space 14,000 people take up, right?
A lot.
If that's how many people are there, Bianca. And basically, if you've got that many people there and you don't get there in like the first 10 minutes, the ceremony's going on and you're stuck in a group of people back at Subterra going, I hate that ride, but I can't see what's going on over there. It's just like, I can't, in some ways I can't see unless they have a different stage somewhere with more...
queue. The queue for the queue is going to go from wherever they decide in Forbidden Valley, let's say the original archway, from there through all the way to Katanga Canyon and up to Tower Street. I guarantee you that now. And that's just the queue to get to Nemesis. Never mind
even when
queue opens.
I'm sure when the curse opened, the queue was like past Wickerman.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
So,
but again, because the curse is a capacity eater, it works really well. I mean, Nemesis always used to be a capacity eater, but it still only has 2 trains, and it can still only dispatch at certain times. It's got its max capacity, and that relies on every single member of that staff and guests. Because I've worked on rides, so
guests is definitely the big one.
You can have a really great team of people who can dispatch it the most efficient way. If a guest causes you issues, and that could be because they've got a question, they're not happy with their lap bar, that it's got a bit of a movement, which shock horror it should have, but they don't quite understand that. These are all things you have to consider. If you have those issues, that's what slows your time down. To rely on everybody to work together and to make it a smooth experience, it does not matter how much planning you put into it. It will never go smoothly. There will be a time when there'll be a 10-minute between dispatches. People in the queue line will start speculating, it's broken down, they've not dispatched for 10 minutes. No, it's because little Sandra is having a bit of a tantrum on the station because she's a bit scared, and that's fine. But that needs to be considered. So you can't run it at max capacity.
Drop her in dispatch, go!
It just won't happen. There is the human factor to envelop in those numbers, which... They're all theatrical max throughputs for a reason. On a computer running at every 30-second dispatches, you can do it. But in real life, that doesn't happen. And those figures change hourly. There is no definitive way. You could do it in the past because that ride operated for long enough. If you look at all the logbooks, which I wouldn't want to do it, but if you looked at all the logbooks, you could work out a mean average. But you can't do that theoretically from an hour of opening. It's the same with when you go, it's 2 hours from this point. How do they know? Because it took them a week to establish going through the queue line and working it out as an average. And you'll start to see less and less of those signs in modern theme parks now. because of complaints when people go, "Oh, we hit that sign an hour ago and it said 5 minutes." Yeah, but we kind of had an issue here to deal with, so we lied to you about that thing because we had a thing going on. But that thing is normally true. That doesn't read well to people. They go, "Well, it's not good enough," and then you end up in the problem. So I'm going for a proper tangent here. You go off on a real whirlwind of people thinking they're right all the time, and the guests aren't always right. But if you've advertised something, whatever you've advertised is the right thing. You need to honour that. So if you've said it's 5 minutes and it's longer, own your mistake and say, "Yeah, sorry, we messed that up."
Yeah.
Effectively, that's the moral there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I really go on tangent.
No, it's fine.
I'm just trying to involve
I was
everyone.
just replying to Surfer Girl and Mike in the
Yeah, they're
comments
talking about Walt Disney World.
because they are all more like Walt Disney World.
They're 5 hours behind us in the
And
past.
they say that they have to book in for like a virtual queue, and they're asking, "Is it a virtual queue?"
No.
And then I thought in my head, like,
No, it's not.
because of how big Walt Disney World is, what happens if there's a new ride there? Do they get a show and then get escorted
No,
to the
they
ride,
get-
or do they?
They get a
But
time.
they just said it's a virtual.
Yeah,
queue.
we were at Epcot when Cosmic Rewind opened, and it's hell. Like it's actual hell trying to get on the ride because you've got to be on. I think it was 7 a.m. You've got to wake up and you've got to get on the app, and you've got to try and get a slot on the virtual queue. So we literally sat in bed with a coffee trying to get and I think we missed the first one, and then the second one was at 12 o'clock, but you've got to be in the park to get the second one. And it was still, there were literally people crying at Epcot because they hadn't got a action.
But let's be honest, you're on holiday. You don't want to have that stress.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know,
No,
if
exactly.
you're going to a theme park, you're going to have to queue. That's inherent part of theme parks. And no matter what system they try and put in place, there isn't anything that pleases everybody. And ultimately, it comes back down to that human nature. I'll compare it to us because I assume we're all British. We love a queue. We love a queue.
Just assume my nationality.
What's that queue for? I'm going to stand in it. That's just a thing people do. No one likes queues, but if there's a queue, you just go and stand in it and moan about, can't believe we're in this queue, but you're still in the queue.
I would honestly take a stressful batching over a queue any day. I'd have rather been that stressed at Epcot than having to get in a 4-hour queue for a ride. No chance.
I'd have rather joined the queue.
Or a 45-minute wait for a ride, to be quite honest with you.
Talking about the queues, I'll ask David, because I've not spoken to him in a little while. How long are you willing to wait? And if it for Nemesis, and if it's an indeterminate amount of time, how long do you think the queue will get?
I think the queue might get to 3 hours, 4 hours. I'm hoping no more than that.
Sorry.
But whether I'd be willing to queue that, I don't know. I suppose it depends on the day, to be honest.
I did a 3-hour queue for Nemesis back in the 90s. Wasn't fun.
Yeah,
No.
You're not meant to say that. You're the biggest advocate.
Actually,
No, I don't know. I'm guessing it could get to that, looking at the capacity and the rest of it. But I might be totally wrong. But I know it's going to be a really busy day. That's for sure.
I think the kicker for a lot of people is going to be the queue. A lot of people will not have seen that full racking extension. You go right way round to where the stall turn is by the vertical loop, and you think, we're really near the station. You have to go right back around what you've just queued and then come back up there. I think that's going to be a massive kicker to a lot of people. I never did that, but I queued up by the vertical loop of fireworks many years ago, and that was just as bad. When you think, it's all right, we just turn up here, and no, we don't. Around the queue, and it's that whole Peter Kay 5 weeks from this point,
Oh, Rachel, should be using your book.
Yeah, just Traveller Jones is plugging my book. The links are in the description. Buy my book. You can still order it now in time to arrive tomorrow.
Sorry, book?
I endorse this product.
Quick question: will you complete the book within the queue time?
That's the challenge.
There's the challenge.
Never mind photography challenge. We're doing this now.
So I'll ask the Joneses, how long are you willing to queue? And are you definitely going to also queue for a night ride?
Darcy's got the patient of a saint over here. So probably, I don't know. I'd be willing to queue an hour and a half. If the queues are any longer than that, we'll just go back a different day. It's not like I can go back on a different day.
I did not expect you to say that. Like,
I really want to get on it, but at the same time, I really don't want to queue for hours.
Yeah, I feel like there's not many people that I could be wrong. I'll put the question out there, but I was of the same impression as you. But I don't think many other. I think a lot of people will queue for it, and I don't know. What does everyone else think? Are you willing to queue longer than that?
As long as it takes. To be honest, for me, as long as I'm in with the right group of people, same as on the last night. As long as I'm with a good group of people that we're having a laugh, we're geeking out. It's like Christmas for me. It's my first day off since Boxing Day. I'm going to be stood in a Nemesis queue all day. So be it. If I'm surrounded by great people and the atmosphere is electric and I'm watching and seeing how everyone's responding and reacting, that's my entertainment for the day.
With the amount of different
I agree.
Deserve that electric.
I don't want to say
so
I don't want to say he doesn't deserve a day off, but just to prove I look at his socials. Didn't you get a day off because you celebrated Christmas later than everyone else?
No, I worked in the day and then I went over to my parents in the evening.
Oh.
I'm not here for sympathy. I'm here for excitement. Nemesis!
Get that on a t-shirt for Saturday.
Ewan, what's your earliest memory of Nemesis?
Okay, so I'm actually writing a book at the minute, and that's actually the first chapter because it's actually the start of the whole of the craziness that I'm on. But the first memory, I'll tell it quickly because it's the first chapter of the book. And basically, my parents took me to Alton Towers with my brother and my sister. I was about 5 or 6 at the time. So it was either 94 or 95. I can't remember. I think it was 94 because Toyland Tours was new and there was like an hour-long queue for that. And we'd spent all the day in Old MacDonald's Farm. Then we went down to Toyland Tours. And then my mum and dad were like, we're not thrill seekers at all. They were like, oh, we should go and see this new crazy roller coaster. They were not into roller coasters or anything like that. We were with my nan as well. Back in the day where the whole family could go to Alton Towers instead of it now where it's not quite like that. But we were all there. Walked down to Forbidden Valley and I was kind of ahead of my parents. We just got off Toyland Tour. So I was like, oh my God, wow, this is amazing. I'd never seen themed things before. We were quite a poor family, so we didn't get to do extravagant things. And Disney, I didn't get to go there till I was 18. So I'd never seen anything like that. But anyway, first memory, I'm walking down under the big archway. Me and my brother have got ice creams. I'm like through a quarter of the size I am now, of the height I am now. Stood by the fence, and I don't know if we must have just caught between dispatches, but we hadn't actually heard the thing or seen really the thing. I was just marveled at this massive web of everything. I'm stood there with my ice cream. My brother stood by the side of me, and then we can see it kind of just going off into the distance. And I vividly remember the feeling of it coming round the helix, and my ice cream just going plop and coming off. And my brothers did exactly the same, but we were both kind of swept almost off our feet as well because we weren't prepared for the force and the backdraft as it whipped around the helix. And I remember just kind of turning around to my mum and dad with this ice creamless cone and being like, ah! And that was it. That was my first kind of memory of Nemesis.
You'll need to get some of the ice creams from Coach House Confectionery to go and do it again on opening.
Yeah, with a cup. Yeah, one of those, and I'll go mimic it. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of my first.
If someone would like to dress up as an ice cream,
yeah, just all falling over. But my first memory of actually riding it, I was older. I didn't ride Nemesis until I was about 16. I was completely terrified of roller coasters. I've loved roller coasters since I was young. But oh my gosh, like, wow, they were terrifying to me, like a complete different night and day person to who I am. And I remember queuing with my friends. I'd gone with some work friends. I'd got my first job and we'd gone to Alton Towers for the day. And yeah, I remember sitting in it and the photo, I'm not joking, is like extreme fear. I'm gritting hard. I'm holding on for dear life. And just to give you an idea of how terrified I was that day, I'd actually passed out on Oblivion. The first time I ever went on Oblivion, I don't remember being at the top. And then I remember being in the brake run because my brain had such a moment that I think it had just shut itself down. Yeah. There was so much stress in my head. But yeah, so that's kind of, my first memory of Nemesis.
I didn't ask James about what he's expecting from the opening. Do you think there'll be a ceremony?
Hopefully, but I think with the problem with it being they'd only be able to do it in one area, so it'd be that people at the front get to see it, and then people like further back in the queue probably wouldn't. So I think Kieran's idea of like having it like on a phone, I think would actually be a great idea because it means everyone gets to see
that's
it.
what they'll do.
It'd be great if they did.
Didn't they do like have like giant screens for
Sure.
fireworks at one point? So maybe they could reuse them.
I think if you held everybody at the bottom of Tower Street, that would be where you could potentially do the show and then march everybody up there. That's the only way in my head that I could do that.
I think the telltale signs are someone go to the turnstiles now, have a look down Tower Street and see if the pond is fenced off. If it is, we can expect something to happen on Tower Street. If it isn't, we won't, because people will stand on there to try and get a better view and fall in. That's why fireworks is always fenced off.
There's a fence around.
So
do you think we'll see any violence with people racing each other to Nemesis?
Describe violence.
Like,
violence? We're talking like rugby tackling someone to the ground.
Yeah, you get like
British bulldog, but not.
I'll tell you what. My first memory of Smiler. I was there with a friend. I think his name was Ricky, and Sean Sandbrook worked on entrance. It was the day after Smiler had opened on the Saturday, and he scanned all our passes. So as soon as he opened the gates, we could run down there. So we ran down there, and Ricky fell over because he fell over his shoelaces, and he caught up with me because I got like second in the queue, which is quite decent. And then he caught up with me outside the queue and kind of told me what happened. And he said some girl stopped and went, "Oh my god, are you all right?" And then carried on running.
That sounds like an opening day in the UK. Yeah. I remember 13's opening day. Me and my dad went, and yeah, I remember everyone just starting to run, and I was like, "Oh, come on, Daddy!" Went, "I'm not running, Keith."
Yeah, my Caden's already said the same. He's like, "Dad, are we running?" I'm like, "No, I'm old. I have no time for running."
Is he likely to run to get there without you and just go on it without you, or would he wait?
Yeah. No, what he'll probably be like, Dad, I'm here, I'm right down here, come and join me, I ran, and I'll be like, no, that is queue jumping is not allowed.
But it will happen.
I want to ask, because I've heard Andy can tell us his memory, I've heard his memories of Nemesis, but what's Laura's earliest memory of Nemesis and riding it?
It was going there on like a coach trip with my friends when I was in school. So it was 1994, but probably around about either Easter or May, and it was in the holidays. And because the 4-hour queue on Nemesis and the amount of time the coach took to get into Alton's house, that's all we did the whole day, was just queue for Nemesis and then go home.
Is that the first time you've been?
Wow.
That was the first time we went on Nemesis, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, if that's the first time you've been in the park, you'd be like, oh, this is great.
Well, Laura's always ahead of me because my bus used to break down on the hill going to Alton Towers every single time we went. So we ended up walking most of the time. Got there at like 3 in the afternoon.
What, is that a joke?
No,
the buses never used to be able to make it up the hill.
No, I mean, he got out and walked because I know people walked from their cars for Run Alton Towers because they didn't prep that properly.
Yeah. Did they not?
No, people were they had to delay the race by about half an hour. It might have been more than that.
It's because there was an accident near the entrance or something.
No, there are loads of people trying to get in, and they need to close the entrance road for the race when it starts. So all these people getting out of their cars on the Alton Towers because they're in the race. They're like, don't want to miss it.
They changed it to one lane going in to Alton Towers, so everybody, there was basically 5 rows trying to filter into one lane. We were there we were stuck in a queue for about an hour, 20 minutes just to get in. It's pretty bad.
That's ridiculous.
And then you got there and were like, oh no, I missed the race.
Just to confirm,
I'd be like,
do I still get the medal?
You tried.
I just go for the rides, right?
What's Craig's first memory of Nemesis? I bet that's a good one.
Mine. So if anyone's ever seen me in real life, don't ask me what year this was. It was yonks ago, probably like 2000. Anyone who's seen me in real life knows I'm not that tall, and I've always been short. Like even as a kid, I was really, really short. So all of my friends were tall enough to get on it, and I wasn't. I was still under the height restriction. So the earliest memory I've got is stood about here where we took this photo, crying my eyes out whilst all my friends went on it because I wasn't tall enough to get on it. That's the first thing I ever remember in Nemesis, crying here.
I feel bad now that I asked that.
Also,
and it's funny because at that age you don't realise that I'm going to be this age now and I've ridden it got more times than I could ever possibly can. But at that time, when you're that young,
When did you first ride it?
It was about a year after that.
Okay.
So I can't remember how old I was at the time, but we went back like a year later, I think it was, and I just managed to get over the 1.4 restriction. I went on it and fell in love, and I've never been back since. And then I took Adam on it, obviously, in like 2014, I think.
Is it the best roller coaster in the UK?
You know us, we don't really do favourites, but it's one of them. I'll commit to that much. It's one of the best.
It's special, I think.
Is it a UK favourite? Because I know you got.
It was
all the
like Strictly
favourites
Come
in
Dancing. I
different
could sidestep
sort of-
there.
Yeah, I don't think some of the Europeans and the
favourite?
Americans understand why it's special to us, but it's definitely that everybody that I speak to, it has a special place in everybody's heart. I think.
Probably shouldn't.
Like, there's just
When you
something about
compare,
it.
like when you compare how good this is for its age compared to other coasters in this country that are the same age, it's amazing. It's amazing compared to other ones that have been around for that long that just haven't really stood the test of time, in my opinion. Even some of the newer ones, to be quite honest, that have been built since then.
I agree with that one. I really do. It's a fantastic point. And going to Ewan's comment, I think the reason a lot of people outside of the UK don't understand why Nemesis is so good is it all comes down to the design. You can build a tall coaster, you can build a fast coaster. It doesn't mean it's going to be any good. Nemesis is balanced right. Yes, it could be a bit longer, and the train will tell you itself, I still want to go, and it stops in the brakes. But due to the size of what they could build, it isn't. So it has a lot more momentum to give. And that's why it's so good. It never slows down to a point you think, oh, I've got time to think now. As soon as you leave that precipice of the lift and you go down, you do not have time to think. You do have time to catch your breath, though, which is what makes a good experience. And that's the key factor here. Coupled with the fact that ride, if you took it out of the pit, it's as big as any roller coaster in America. It's built into the ground, so it looks a lot smaller than it actually is. I think a lot of people look at it and go, that's a small ride. Yeah, it ain't. It's quite tall when you.
I always feel like that first bit feels very slow. Like when you go into that corkscrew, I always think, are we going quick enough to go through it?
I thought you were just talking about.
Well, that's the slow build up. That's for you to get used to being, and that's why it was designed that way. Other inverted coasters at the time, there was only a few. They took you straight down and into a vertical loop. You didn't have time to think about it. Having that moment to go, oh wow, like my feet are dangling. What's going on? Oh, now I'm upside down. Gives you that moment to process what's going on. It was a clever bit of design that, because it could have just gone straight down and into something, but it has that moment. So Air has the exact same feature actually, to get that little time to go, oh, we're flying.
Yeah.
Now you're saying about, rides don't need to be big, don't need to be fast. Are you excited about Hyperion?
I was just about to say that.
Not at all. If I wanted to go on a big roller coaster, I'd go on the big one. That's
I'm actually quite excited about Hyperion.
Ironically,
I'm a little bit excited about Hyperion. I'm not that fussed for it in the sense. I will try and be there for the opening day because it's a monumental moment in coaster history in the country. But it's for me, it's all about theming. That's why I would rather have like Efteling over Wallaby Holland, even though Wallaby Holland's got RMC. It's like, I'd rather have the Efteling thing. Like, it's not about the fast and the speediness. And I think sometimes Thorpe Park forgets that. And I think they've forgotten this with Hyperion. It's like, oh, let's just stylize. And I think that they're missing a trick, but
there's no such thing.
I would just laugh if Blackpool in a year's time were like, we're building one another meter taller.
It's not Nemesis related.
They could reprofile the big one and reclaim the record.
Yes.
I just want to ask
without much effort.
That would be funny. I want to ask you what you thought of the new Thorpe Park logo.
I love the I think it's the most uncreative thing on planet Earth. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Did they have the copyright to it? Because isn't it just a set font that you can actually...
I don't even know. Can you even call it a logo? Is it even branding? Is it just two words stuck together? Like one word is in capitals, one word is not in capitals. Like it's. I don't know who signed that off. I really don't.
Should have changed the name to Theme Park. Yeah, just Theme Park.
Yeah, generic theme park. Come to generic theme park on the outskirts of London.
There is a caravan site on the coast somewhere. Someone will correct me where it is, and it's called Thorpe Park.
Yeah, Cleethorpes.
If that logo,
Cleethorpes.
yes, Cleethorpes. Yeah. If that logo was put on that caravan park, I wouldn't give it a second thought. I'd go, "Oh, that's looking a bit more upmarket." Because it's not on a theme park, it makes me go, "Oh, that's gone downhill fast."
It's made us forget about Drake Manor's logo.
Yeah, I don't get what they were doing. I kind of get that to me, with Thorpe Park, if they were trying to go for that kind of, their market is predominantly chavvy London people, and a lot of those people like to get. Trust me, I worked there for
Disclaimer:
a long time.
other people are also visiting.
Definitely what they get.
I met a lot of them. All right, and a lot of those people are very. They're very into their brands. You know, they want to have their Adidas on, they want to have their Burberry, they want to have these kind of the chavvy brands. Excuse me, no offense if you're wearing any of those things. It's just my opinion.
I don't think they've bought Burberry since like 2005, have they?
Well, in fact, one of the reasons that Burberry started shutting down in this country is because the chav started wearing
Because of that, yeah.
True story. But kind of like a lot of them, I do like their logo. So it baffles me that they didn't go for something that was striking and simple, but also unique, so that it was kind of had that brand identity. I just feel it's so generic now that, well, I could write it on a bit of paper and be like, "Oh, look, I made a theme park logo."
10 grand, please.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've got bold colours for Alton Towers, but yet we've got pastel colours for
I know. The change is coming across the board.
And that's the only thing that
Don't worry, Alton Towers are going to change this.
But does that mean Towers to pastel colours? Because it's just not.
And what the heck's going on with Blackpool right now? I think they've. Do you know what? I think they've got themselves so lost in brand identity. They might as well start taking blooming puberty blockers.
Do you know what's happened at Blackpool is they've looked at their biggest competition and gone, "Oh, they're rebranding. Let's rebrand," and they did not need to do that.
It's a trend. Thorpe Park have done it. Blackpool did it. West Midlands have just ruined their logo as well. Like, I don't know what's going on with logos at the moment. I really don't.
What people forget with logos is it is your brand. And I've had this conversation on another podcast recently. If you look at things like Cadbury, you see that logo, you know it's gold, it's on purple. That's Cadbury's. It's the same font. They did change it. They tweaked it slightly a couple of years ago, but not enough for you to go, "Oh, what's that?" You see that at the corner of your eye, you know that's the brand. That's been going for 200 years. They haven't had to go, "Oh, do you know what? Let's do a massive reimagining of what Cadbury's is. Let's do this," because it's a PR stunt. It's just to get in the newspapers for a couple of days, and then that's it. If you keep with a brand long enough, people will recognize you for that brand. You won't need to change it. There are trends that come about when someone high up goes, "Oh, do you know what's really hip this year? Simplifying your logos. And if you want yours doing, come to me and I'll do it for you." And then everyone wants the same because they think, "Oh, if the big boys are doing it, I should do it." And that echoes. Just stick with what works. Listen to your audience most of all.
I'm going to bring this back around to Nemesis with what I'm about to say. But do you think Thorpe made it bad on purpose? Because in some respects, more people will talk about it if they don't like it and go, "Oh my God, have you seen that?" And also, do you think Nemesis, if it doesn't ride as well as it used to, will actually in some ways be better? Because people will go, "Oh, you've got to get down there and ride it. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be." And people will go, "Oh my God, how bad is it? I've got to go and ride it."
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the Nemesis thing, maybe, but that will be a secondary thing that will not be planned. Thorpe's,
it's very short term.
100% was planned.
Because if something over a long term is bad, then it just becomes bad. Like, you might get that initial hit, that kind of viral hit, almost clickbaity, but you can't. Real life isn't clickbait. Like, if it's bad, then the reviews will say it's bad, and eventually people will go, "Oh, it's not as good as it used to be. Don't bother." And then then it dies.
And perfect case study for that is the Wonka experience of at Glasgow. Quite frankly, it had all these promises to be something that it wasn't. The reviews were then awful. It then got spread rapidly in this world. Don't come, it's rubbish, it's bad. And now it's gone. But it's still left with memes. And then you have other big corporate companies going, "We'll hire you," so they can get in the news now off the back of something else. That's fundamentally wrong. If things are bad, accept the bad, address it, move on. Don't keep trying to elongate stuff.
Someone else has come on to the studio. Did you want to introduce them?
Sibby Vlogs. Welcome.
I can get this right.
You look like someone who goes to Thorpe Park.
Oh.
Speaking of Thorpe Park.
No. Nah. I've been getting food. I've been getting food and running around, so yeah.
So what are you looking forward to this weekend? What do you think about? Do you think there'll be a ceremony?
Right, okay. So probably if I get there and see it, hooray. If I don't, I'll probably be meeting and greeting everybody. While you're all doing a 3-hour queue, I'm going to go and hit the rest of the park.
Yeah.
Probably meander my way back about 3-4.
Yeah.
Wait for it to warm up because it's a special day for me. And then, I'm just going to marathon the shit out of it.
There goes the monetization.
No, it's special because it's 30 years I've been a coaster enthusiast.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
So I'm literally reliving 13-year-old me, who was a thrill seeker, going down the same path into the same area, seeing it again, and doing it all again fresh. And I am counting it as new +1, but guys. And,
I was going to say, does it count as 30 years old because it wasn't open last year? But then I think it's a completely new ride anyway.
Yeah. So it's my anniversary.
How long are you willing to wait?
84 years.
As long as we wait for the answer.
2 hours?
2 hours.
I thought he froze then.
I'm surprised because I know Ewan said he'll wait as long as it takes, but I expected everyone to kind of say that, apart from me. But I was surprised when Andy said it because Andy's like, I wouldn't say he's one of the biggest fans of Nemesis I know. I know a few that are really big, like Ewan and Dan from Ginger and Brown.
Yeah.
He's got the comment.
For me, it's just about being there and experiencing the opening day. If I get to go on it, then I get to go on it. If I don't, I'll go back the following weekend.
Like I'm going on Wednesday as well, just so that I've got to work in the evening, but Saturday's social, experiencing everything, soaking up the atmosphere. Wednesday, whoring the hell out of it. Like it's like, yeah. If I get one ride on Saturday, great. Hopefully 2, 1 in the morning, and then queue at the end of the night for a nighttime ride. Great. Wednesday, I can get on there at 10 o'clock in the morning and hopefully ride it all day, and that would be great.
Are you that in love with Nemesis that it's just destined to be great, or will you be? If
they've wrecked it. if they've wrecked it, there'll be words.
It's my 0 coaster.
Oh, is that how much you give it out of 10? Or
no, I have a top 10 because it's sat at 10, number 1 forever. I put it to 0 to give the rest a chance. So my number 1 is technically Icon.
Isn't that like when they put on the stereo 11 on the volume?
I love it.
Thank God someone else agrees with me.
Yeah, Nemesis is 0. It made me the enthusiast I am. Nothing's going to beat that. So you can go into like 0 and the rest can fight it out. But Nemesis will always be there.
I've been saying for the past, year since Nemesis has gone? 2 years? Yeah. Icon is now the best coaster in the UK. On Saturday when Nemesis opens, Icon then drops down a place again. If it's number 1. Good.
Well, technically, it will own 1 and 0.
Yeah.
Where would it be in a scale of 0 to 10 for the rest of everybody in the chat? Like, where would Nemi be?
I'd put it probably out of UK rides, probably number 4 for me.
Number 4? Where would you put yours?
Oh, okay.
Well, I have the very kind of unpopular.
And I've not even ridden Icon, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I've got the very unpopular opinion.
Icon,
where it's like because I rode it quite late, I don't really think like I got like the proper experiences with it, which is why with the new Nemesis, I'm excited about all the new stuff because I'm hoping it's improvements. So I don't really know where I'd rank it, to be honest. Probably like. Don't think it'd be in the top 5. This is where everyone gets their pitchforks out now. But this is why I'm hoping that with this kind of new one, it will make me fall in love with it like everyone else has in a way. Like almost get like
I'd
1994.
I'm the same. I kind of see everyone else who's really overhyped about it, and I'm like, I'd like to be that excited about Nemesis,
Yeah.
but I can see all these imperfections. I don't know if that's the right word. I can see things that are better done elsewhere, but then I didn't go on it in '94. I grew up being told, and I don't know. Well, I'll say Ewan knows what I mean because we used to kind of be in the same kind of enthusiast groups, but other people probably know as well. When I grew up, before I was old enough to go on Nemesis, I was always told by every enthusiast, Nemesis is the best coaster. Nemesis, and at that point, it's getting drawn into me. So I'm expecting, and it's never going to be that.
Is that started the journey of the roller coasters?
Oh no, the first coaster I ever went on that started me being an enthusiast was Rattlesnake at Pleasure Hills. But what I want to ask, actually, I'll start with the Joneses. Do you think it would be a good idea if they stretched the story and actually then went, let's actually theme Nemesis Inferno to be like a Nemesis monster as well and give it loads of update?
No.
Strong answer.
It's not the same roller coasters.
Across the board, we've all just shook our heads.
The best thing they can do is drop Nemesis and just call it Inferno.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
Yeah. I've always thought the worst thing about Inferno is the fact that they put Nemesis in front of it when it's nothing to do with Nemesis.
Yeah.
It's got absolutely nothing to do with.
That's why.
Although I have to be honest, I disagree. I would love to see a fire Nemesis at Thorpe Park. I'd love to see like fire version, make it like orange and black.
You know what? I think the theme that they've just whacked on Reborn would work better on Inferno with fire as well. Right at the back end of the park, that big, structures coming out. I think that would look great.
Big stony lava Nemesis.
That would be cool. Because I don't actually like the new monster. I'm going to be honest.
I don't like the color scheme.
I don't like it all. I don't. It's the actual, and this is where it gets into, I guess, a bit of really geekeriness. The monster before was believable. It had eyes. It had a mouth. It was this.
Yeah, where is the mouth?
It has its mouth and an eye. How can it digest? Like whoever designed it didn't actually.
That's what I said, but then I thought someone's going to correct me.
But this
and
is,
also wacky wavable and playful arm wave things.
What was that? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, those tentacles give me the heebie-jeebies, man.
As well
too
as
much wiggle.
the eye in the mouth. It's as well as the eye in the mouth. It's got wacky wavable inflatable arm wheeling tube man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's just the eye in the mouth thing. That's my one grudge. It's like what are the teeth doing? They're not funneling anything into a mouth because it's got an eye there.
I think actually, if we look into the lore of it a lot, that's not the same monster, is it? Like it's meant to be, but it's not.
No. What did they say it was? Some genetically modified thing that they're working on, a weapon of some variety.
Well, that's come out of the egg.
Yeah. That's all the stuff they've written in a lovely theme book that we're not going to see as an audience.
Sounds like something Elon Musk would do.
Probably has.
I always thought you exited the mouth.
You did.
But that doesn't mean you do enter through its back.
Yeah, you don't want to know where you enter when you come back. You do exit.
Prostate exam.
Another after open, I guess.
Because if we're looking at the story, would it not be
it was a big girl?
Would it not be that track is holding Nemesis down, so there's no danger and we're all fine?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I loved about the original story of Nemesis is the track was part of the creature's tentacles, and the supports were the steel that Phalanx put in to pin it to the ground. And we now, mere irritants, fuel its annoyance by riding its tentacles.
I assumed the track was holding it in as well. It was just being like held down.
No.
And if you watch the original pre-show to Subterra, when it showed the pre-show, it showed you like the creature moving and the track growing, and then bringing in the supports to pin it down. They expanded that lore to make it proper canon. They've since just completely crapped on that. Now it seems to be, to me, my point of view is, it's a roller coaster track with a bit of paint on it now. It's not a creature anymore. That aesthetic has been ruined, and it's going to go green. Sorry. So it's just, I agree with you, and I don't like the monster, and I don't like where the.
Is there going to be UV paint?
No. Why would there be?
Because everyone's gone on forums and gone, I'm an enthusiast, there's going to be UV paint at night and it's going to be blacklit.
Yeah, but also everybody said there'd be a washing machine element in the Smiler.
That was brilliant. Wow. The washing machine element was brilliant.
Which, can we just establish, that still hasn't happened anywhere in the world?
No, and do you know why?
Go on.
Ooh. It's to do with the evacuation procedure. So if the ride was to stop in any angle, that's why it's to do with the motion. It would need to have some kind of emergency catch that would release it to allow the vehicle to self-right itself. It's something to do with that.
Like Madhouses, and it's just a case of getting that technology.
No, when it was before it opened, people were saying it was going to stop the trap and spin through.
Yeah, so basically the train would roll in, it would lock into place, and then the whole kind of track would like switch track upside down.
Because the Enthusiast was saying, if you ever get beaten for the inversion count, they'll just make that go round another time.
I thought you meant like a sponsorship with Calvo or something, not like an actual.
And this is how crazy it is. The speculation for that came from the fact that there was a glass floor in the shop, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's going to have this visual thing from it, so you're going to be able to see down into the washing machine effect."
Oh, I thought it was because the eyes were spiral. People got the impression it was going to do something like that.
In terms of,
I mean, coaster fans are amazing. I mean, the creativity that they come up with and the geekiness that they go with. I mean, a lot of them are off the rocker, but you know, it just shows that there is ingenuity in the community, and I do like that.
I'm going off tangent here a little bit, but in terms of improvements to Smiler, that'd be quite cool at the end if you had, when you're going towards the station, that there'd be like a Tremel tunnel.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know why I'm going off tangent here with ideas, but
when I get to that point of the Smiler, I'm like, just get me off. Get me off. I'm done.
I wish it had lap bars.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was supposed to. The original train had lap bars and a nose cone. Nose section.
I wouldn't trust it.
You're not going to go on.
I don't trust any. No.
Yeah, because these are brand new cars for it, aren't they? Effectively designed for the style of Eurofight, the next gen.
But don't you ride sick? That's a lap bar.
No.
Yeah, Ice is sick. I found that comfortable. Much more.
Icon's a lap bar.
No.
Random question: why hasn't Colossus now got lap bars still? Why hasn't this been changed?
Well, why hasn't it got more leg?
I believe the trains are wider on sick, and there's not enough clearance in the station at the moment. I believe that's what I heard.
It's down to design and spacing. Yeah.
Then it's not easy just to refit.
No, I know it's not. You can't just take them out and replace them, but it would be really beneficial for them to do it, I think.
I just seen a comment. What about a Trommel tunnel on the vertical lift hill? That would be quite cool.
I agree.
I love Tremel tunnels and I love roller coasters. Putting two of them together, for me, would make me probably feel sick. For everyone else, they'll be vomiting all
pizza. You like them separately,
or vinegar and pizza.
That goes on pizza.
Does it?
Oh, that's just reminded me. Remember the marketing campaign for 13 when they said you're only going to be able to ride it once a day and you have to sign a waiver?
Oh yeah.
Anyone remember that marketing stuff?
Do you remember the 13 marketing where it said it's every ride you've been on in one?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got the launch at the end.
13 is so underwhelming. I'm sorry. It's just
it's the second launch coaster tower. Third launch coaster they've had. Thunderlooper. It's always the first people.
Well, I think kind of the people that were around when 13 opened, I think they don't have the same feelings for it that the new kids, like the new kids, they seem to love 13, and I'm like, how can you love 13? But they didn't go through that whole marketing rubbish of this will be the most extreme coaster. This is Alton Tower's best ride ever. This is going to smash Nemesis and Oblivion, everything out the ballpark. And it's like it's Runaway Mine Train with a surprise.
It's just marketing gobble to sell tickets, and I absolutely despise it. Marketing,
and I think that's actually what's hurt my opinion
for anything other than this is what we've got. Market that and not come up with stuff that doesn't exist. It's false advertisement, really, and just for fake hype. I mean,
it's trim break to hell, isn't it? Let's face it.
It is now, but it wasn't on opening day.
See, when I first did it, I did it in the dark, so you couldn't see anything.
Trim breaks.
And it was brilliant. I did it.
I don't know what trims on that much of a noob.
It's the brakes on the drop on 13 because you're not actually falling as fast as you should be.
No, it's trimmed at the bottom of the first drop.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
and then it's on the second hill, third hill, and then it just meanders.
Yeah, it's all to do to the fact is if it goes over the circuit too quick, it'll reach the second lift hill. It'll speed through. If for whatever reason those wheels do not stop it, It will just go into the door when it's down, if it's ready or not. So it's more for if it's a breakdown and it needs to stop on the lift, which I don't think has actually happened that I know.
But to me, that's just poor design.
Exciting, you never know.
That's just...
It's poor design from concept to execution. Like we had computers when 13 was designed. Like, why would you not?
But I think
run it in a simulation where you'd have either heightened the track or lowered the track or adjusted it. So I mean, the whole drop is just a trim brake.
Yeah, but I think the issue is the computers that we have now versus then are drastically different as well. Back then, virtual technology wasn't even in its infancy. It was, I have this idea, I can wear this massive bulky thing, and it's really glitchy. Whereas now we've implemented it in, stupid software. So the computers back then weren't as great as what we think. We just think we're in this world of, we've had computers for 20 years, so they're all amazing. Every year they get so much smarter and so much better. But I think the issue with 13, and I wasn't on the design team, so I don't know, but in my opinion, it was designed backwards. That's why it's so underwhelming. The drop was the main feature. They knew it wanted to have that. It had to enter at a certain height to get that relevant drop. It then went backwards. Everything else was then secondary. It wasn't designed and then had the drop put on it. Whereas other roller coasters now, which are now classed as multi-dimensional coasters and not just Family Mind coaster with drop, which is what they were for like 5 years, are designed with an experience in mind. You're going to go on this experience, then you're going to go into this room. That room's going to do this wonderful thing. Then we take you on another experience. Hagrid's magical bike ride is that, for example. Although I've not ridden it yet myself, you can see on POVs how it's been designed. It's got a purpose. It takes you on a journey. 13 was the first. And I think it was designed backwards from the drop to everything else. That's why it's underwhelming. That's why it overspeeds, because it wasn't really
totally buried in 13
to do that. Anyway, Nemesis.
Yeah. If we start, I say if we start to wrap up, but it could take 10 or 20 minutes. But if I go through each of you one by one, and just if you want to give your thoughts, your parting thoughts on Nemesis, I guess, what you think it's going to be in the future, what its legacy is going to be.
Sorry, before you wrap up, can I just ask one thing?
Yeah.
Has anybody noticed that I don't think, unless you have fast track, you will be able to take the original route of the queue line? I think the fast track splits to the right through the main gate, and the main queue goes to the left, and then the merge point is over by the staircase up before it switches back by the loop.
Yeah. Oh, really? It's not going back down.
I think as the main queue, you'll walk all the way around the edge of the pit and then come back in down on the other side where the very, very old queue used to be.
Yeah. I know the one you mean.
So I don't think the main queue line will ever go on the traditional route under that traditional photo and by the side of the.
So it won't go near the waterfall.
I don't think it will.
It looks like the fast track goes down under there main drop with the waterfalls, and then you go up the other side instead of coming back.
I think that queue will have been split up because there's another access route down by the stairs, and I think they would have reprofiled there.
I can see them getting a lot of
what's going to happen is you're going to go up to where the station is and then go back all the way around. We'll find out.
Backlash for that.
Yeah, it is gone. But yeah, sorry, Mike, what were you saying?
Well, I'll ask the Joneses first, but what do you think Nemesis' legacy will become moving forward with these changes? And
I'd like to think that when Darcy's older, she gets to take her kids and her grandkids on it, possibly. And that's kind of where I'm at when I was little, growing up. Kind of had kids. It's one of the coasters I really wanted Darcy to go on. And she went on it and she was like, "No, it's not as good as a Smiler."
Kind of agree with that.
Oh, really?
What?
Nemesis
Smiler wouldn't even make my top 10.
No.
In terms of like scale of 0 to 10, then I'm going as you're doing.
Oh, not this again.
Well, I didn't quite get through to everyone. Not to Dave, not to Craig, and not to.
What's your 0
like
coaster?
0 to 10. Where would Nemesis be? That's what I was asking.
Nemesis is in top place for me, closely followed by Icon.
Mine is Icon. My number one is Icon until Saturday.
My number one's Vampire.
Where's Nemesis though? What number?
10 was Nemesis. Answer wisely. Otherwise, you're sleeping outside.
20, 30, 40, 50.
No. Will be on the list.
I'm saying 80,000.
We're in the thousands now.
What about Craig? Where does it finish number 1 for you? Or?
I don't do rankings, but I would say it's at tier 1. It's with a load of others, but it would be at tier 1.
Yeah, top tier.
David,
in the UK, that's as much of a commitment as you gain.
I would say that Nemesis is my favourite UK coaster.
Oh, really?
When I first saw Icon, I thought that might have been, and maybe sort of after the first couple of rides when Icon was new, I thought that may have sort of overtook Nemesis. But I think Nemesis has the tradition, and it's been there a long time, and it's done well, and I think. Now it's been retracked, it's going to live a lot longer than if it hadn't potentially been retracked. So I think it's a positive move, because without that, I don't think it would have been around for as long as it's going to be now.
Yeah.
So I'll ask Craig the same question. What do you think for you? What will Nemesis's legacy be after this?
Oh, I can't wait to get back on it. I mean, this is where my and Adam's journey started in theme parks, and I love everything they've done with it. When I found out they were changing the colour of the track and they were going to change the creature, I was gutted because I loved it as it was. But now seeing what they've done to it, it's incredible. I absolutely love it. All around Forbidden Valley, where they've got all the tentacles and the helicopters and stuff, I'm just in love. I can't wait to get down there, and I can't believe I'm going to miss it this weekend.
You'll get a lot more rides on it when you do go, though, I think, than if you went this weekend.
I know, yeah. I'll probably be able to see more as well, because there won't be an ocean of people that are in the way.
Yeah.
I'm only very short. I can't really see over it. I'll be able to see the top of the track, and that'll be about it.
Ewan, what is Nemesis's legacy going to be for you, do you think? Or what do you think it'll become?
Well, obviously, if it's going to form part of Alton Towers' kind of history, I guess, or because it's more than Nemesis. It's like Alton Tower. Nemesis is Alton Towers. Alton Towers is Nemesis. Like Alton Towers is many more things too, but you think of, or at least for me, I think of Alton Towers and I think Nemesis.
Yeah.
I guess for that whole kind of thing, I would hope that they're already planning to rebirth the third iteration of it in another 30 years' time. You know, that's if it does well enough, then it'll be proof if they got it right or they didn't get it right, and the proof will be in the pudding. I hope that they haven't just made it too gimmicky, and that everything that they've made to go with it will head off into the future. But
we've lost it.
I know what she's doing. She seems to have a good heart in a chest direction, so we'll see.
David, what do you think about Nemesis' legacy after these changes?
Well, I just think, say the fact it's been redone, it's going to last a lot longer now, and I think it will still live in people's memories. I do think, some of the comments about it being gimmicky, I can see what people are saying there. It could potentially be. I just hope they haven't took too much of the original Nemesis away. It'll also be interesting to just see how it rides as well, because it might ride a bit different now. It's got new tracks, so I'm quite interested to see what that's like as well, to be honest.
Kieran, same question.
Yeah, I kind of shadow what everyone said and agree with you. And I don't want it to be full of gimmicks, and I hope it does sustain at least the next 30 years. Personally, I'm not a fan of the direction they've gone to with all the helicopters and the tanks. It swarmed to Electric Boogaloo, but now it Alton when you had an original idea. So I'm interested to see firsthand what that's going to be like and whether that will last the test of time. But ultimately, I think it's going to be, for the UK industry and theme park, it's going to be interesting to see how far this coaster will go. If it can withstand the next 30 years and then they go, right, we're going to rebuild this again and then extend the story another 30 years, that's a legacy that is going to outlive everyone. And I hope that does continue. But time will tell. I just hope that people don't forget the original 94 and the story and everything else, because it should all matter. It really does. It's world building that needs to remain around.
Now, I saw Sibby, or I don't know if he wants me to call him Graham. I saw him rub his hand because I know he's going to have I think it's going to be a detailed answer here, but the same question to Sibby.
Right. Nemesis is legend. The OG. Had it, ridden it, brilliant. That was then. This is the second act. So forget what you know. Go with a fresh mind. If you say it's bad, you obviously only rode it in the morning. You ran home at 3 o'clock to upload your video and be the first one to get your content out. Hang around until 4 o'clock on the night rides, and you will find you've just found the same beast, just a lot better in a lot more sexier number of looks.
You work for Rotten Towers.
No, but I should do.
Can I make a counterpoint to that? A roller coaster experience shouldn't be good when it gets warm. It should be good all the time.
Every coaster you will ever ride, every coaster you will ever ride will always be better in the evening than it is first thing. Fact.
Except from a Vekoma SLC.
Any Vekoma.
I give you that, yeah. Except for SLC, they should be genocided away from every. They never happened. Get rid. If you're going to scrap a ride, scrap an SLC. We don't need them. They're not good. They're not. They just don't do anything apart from give you a headache and put a fortune into ibuprofen and paracetamol.
They give you a cred. They give you a tick on your list.
Yeah, but it's a one and done.
Can I ask a question? And I'm being serious. I'm not being jokey. But
Go on.
If you ride it and it is not as good as it was before, are you going to be honest about it, or because you love Nemesis, you're just going to go, no, it's brilliant?
Find out when I ride it.
Well, no, because if you're going to lie and
I
say
don't know.
I don't know if
I
you
don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know
You don't know
until.
if you're going to lie or not.
No.
I'll be honest about it. If it's a rubbish ride experience, I'll be completely honest and say it's not as good as what it was. I'm not going to ride it because I'm so caught up in the buzz of it being new. It's amazing.
If you come and speak, if you come and speak on Saturday, you can see me like this. It's not good. If I'm telling you like, oh, how are you? You know, it's going to be good.
It's
and
going to be weird seeing you on Saturday because I'm used to seeing you sideways now. I'll see you right way up.
Be careful how you say that, Mike.
Oh, do you know what? I'll have a laptop soon and I'll figure this out.
Oh,
no, it's fine. Isn't it fun?
Don't worry. We appreciate you just coming on.
Does anyone? I mean, everyone will jump in at the same time now. But does anyone?
James, you ask James a question.
Ask James, yeah.
What the same legacy?
The legacy. Yeah.
I'm hoping that I hopefully like it more than the original, and I have less unpopular opinions. So that'd be great. That'd be lovely.
What do you think then?
I just think it'll be, like I said, it'd be nice for a new audience to come and like have their own views and experience of it as well. Yeah, just looking forward to it. I'm not going to say any more than that because I want to actually ride it and then just see how I feel after that.
I think it'll be decent. I think it'll be better than it was because it's destined to be that. I mean, that's coming from somebody who doesn't think it's that great. I think it'll be better than it was.
I'm a bit sad that the drill went, but
yeah,
I'm sure there's other stuff that is.
I'm sad that the edge went.
Make me pleasantly surprised because I've not really looked on social media or anything. So,
if anyone wants to add anything about Nemesis before we go, now's the time.
What's your dog thinking about Nemesis?
It'll be rough.
I don't think he'd handle it. He'd probably like chase it around barking like when an ambulance goes by the house. I don't think he'd handle it.
Let's go see Winnie Reborn.
Will you be buying? Will anybody be buying an on-ride photo? That's the question.
I'll probably just get
Are we those people or are we not those people?
Everyone will be buying a pin badge
and
be selling them on eBay.
I'll be posing for selfies with people and meeting and greeting.
There's going to be a queue. We'll be able to see Sibby because there'll have a queue of people ready to meet and greet him.
Pop badges.
Yeah. Now buy a hoodie.
Pop badge, yeah. We do pop badges.
I need a Nemesis hoodie.
I'll sell them on the day.
It'd be nice to see what the merch is like.
That'll be
Or the theming for me, overall around the area.
Oh, final
On the
thing.
coast,
Is
but-
the Edge going to be a retail outlet?
I think it's,
Who knows?
Because I
Maybe the one on the
need a
bottom
proper shop.
Yeah, because I think the shop's going to be next to where Ripsaw was. That's the new shop. And
Oh, well, that's going to.
And I think they've reconstructed it, and I think it is still going to be an.
So I'm getting
arcade,
flashbacks of the Subterra shop. That was that little.
Yeah, like the Fark Supplies. Yeah.
Yeah, those Starlight merchandise which sold really well.
Didn't they submit planning so that building could be built with ride capabilities in it?
Ooh,
I think it's VR.
Maybe, yeah.
Gareth's got a point here. What happens if Nemi goes down?
It'll go back up again.
Yeah, it's B&M. Come on, these guys are quick. It's not an
It's
interview where
all-
everything has to be rebooted.
What, like Reborn again?
There we go.
Reborn throughout the day.
I suppose it depends on how much it's had done. I assume everything's been ripped out of it. All the computer systems,
Sensors,
all
yeah.
the control panels, all the sensors on the lift will have all been done. It's got new maglev brakes as opposed to the old ones. So I'm assuming it's a brand new system. It's not a brand new system. It's a system B&M know works. It should be fairly straightforward to get it sorted if anything does go down. At the end of the day, if it goes down, it goes down. What's that?
One of my friends was telling me that they were working on a new system in Curse at the minute, like the actual programming system and the console.
Probably. There's a lot of things in Curse.
My favourite thing about the Curse is I point out every time is that first bit where the wall's kind of moving. If you look to the right, you can actually see the plug socket behind it.
Classic.
Part of the charm.
But yeah,
it is part of the charm.
I'm done for this episode unless anyone wants to mention anything else. Stacey wants to mention.
I just want to say, would you all want to meet on again once you've all had a ride on Nemi and then have your own views and opinions? And
Yes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you're happy to do that again because it'd be lovely to see you all again.
Episode
So-
100.
I forget the camera's there. I keep looking down here at my laptop. But yeah. But yeah.
It's been fun. Just buy our book. The link's in the description.
Absolutely enjoyed it.
There's
tonight,
still time to get
everybody.
it in time for Saturday.
Even everybody in the comments as well. If you want to put like, where would you rate Nemi between 0 and 10? And
Between
your own
zero, I like the way that's
experience
become a
in the
thing now.
comments as
Between 0 and 10.
0 and 10.
Everything.
That is a thing.
In the box.
I don't know if it exists, but Sibby needs a T-shirt that says "Nemesis is my zero coaster."
Yeah.
Mhm.
But,
New merch.
that'd be cool.
New merch, yeah. Towers will do it now.
New merch.
Me the icon.
This is Nami the cat, everybody, as well. You can probably guess what.
Oh,
He's struggling.
Oh, let's bring him a bit closer.
I like it. We're just like,
Nemi's like,
oh, he was like, he's struggling.
Oh, cute.
Oh, little kitten.
Cat.
No,
What do they
yeah,
think
when
of
we got him, he's grey, and I have to spray paint him red and black, aren't
Or you just
Ollie's
yeah.
just come into the chat as well. So sorry, Ollie. But we have
We'll see you on
literally
Saturday.
just finished the
see
conversation.
us.
But you can always watch us on replay. Hashtag
I'll be in Tower Street before rope drop anyway. So
So
Yeah, I think we're planning to be there up at the hotel car park for about 8 o'clock.
yeah, for 8. Yeah.
I'll be there roughly about 8. We're leaving at 7.
I'll
It's
be
a
there at
Saturday.
some point.
There's no traffic.
For us.
Who's going in the main gate and who's going in the hotel gate?
I'm going the main gate.
You'll find out
I'm
on
going
the
to
day.
main gate because I want like.
And I'm just a poor boy from a poor family.
We'll be special vlogging as well.
I don't know if I'd want to go in that gate anyway because it's going to be primed for you to see.
You know, I would absolutely wet myself, well, not physically, but if they've blocked off all that passageway up to Nemesis and they're feeding everybody out, but like by the opposite side of Blade and out to Skyride, and you've got to walk all the way around and down and back in through Gloomy Wood to get back into Forbidden Valley, I'd be like,
I will move a crowd control barrier.
You know who's going to be at the hotel gate, don't you?
Oh god, don't name drop people.
Mr. TPWW. So go for the main gate. I'll be there.
You're his alternative, I think.
Well, I just figured, like, with the hotel gate, the amount of time it takes them to scan people in,
Yes.
it's probably faster to go through the main
Yeah.
gate and take the 10
Yeah.
minutes fast walk over.
Oh, I'm having deja vu. I feel like I spoke about this when Nemesis closed and someone asked that question. It was like, how do you think it'll work? And I went and said the same thing. it'll be quicker to go through and around as opposed
stuck in a loop.
Yeah. Oh God, no! This happens every 30 years.
You're stuck in the inverted loop.
I'll be 73.
It's been 84 years.
I'll be sat there in my Zoom frame, knocking you out. Wait, get out.
We'll be pushing you around the place. Come on, let's get you up there.
Yeah, you can be my carer. Come on.
There we go. That's all right. As long
I
as we
reckon
got
in years to come,
Oh,
when
I've sorry, go on. I've just got one teeny last more thing.
Yeah.
What about the Red Rivers? Do you reckon they'll be back?
no, because they had to get rid of them because it was getting into the
unless
ground.
they've created a closed circuit for the water, then no. But I'm kind of glad for that because you don't want to taint the water of the beautiful Derbyshire countryside or Staffordshire countryside even.
But have you seen on
the wonderful springs of Weaverley Hill?
We said about 3 hours, Ollie.
What was that, Laura? Sorry.
On the app, they've actually put the water as dark blue. It's not the same colour as the rest of the water in the park.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
But we were
Does
finding
that
out.
not blue represent Galactica?
No, no one wants to
Is
remember that
that
ride.
just me being a bit?
They pushed it to the back of the park for a reason.
Is it still there?
We'll have to
It's
talk
still
about
there.
it.
They've jetbushed it now. I mean, it's
It's the biggest disappointment you'll ever ride.
We'll
Yeah.
have to talk about this after the live. I was just going to plug in something if that's okay
Yeah,
as well.
plug what you want. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've got the last 2 weeks now of this month of I've literally got the photograph challenge of portrait. It can be a portrait of Nemi. It can be a portrait of your pet. It can be a portrait of anything. The theme is portrait. So if you want to tag me in it, Stacey_L2E, and then I'll put it on my stories. It's just a mini shout out for your Instagram profiles and things. So obviously, if you do that, that'd be bob on.
It's like
But,
Sibby's
I
orientation
just thought I'd let you know.
portrait.
I've not managed to do it yet. I'm waiting until I can go and get a picture of something to do with Nemi, and then hopefully might tag it in that way or something like that. But it can be of anything. It's just portrait. That's all it is.
I just got a message.
No
from,
landscape. None of that.
I got a message from Team Part Leo. He just messaged me and said he's got the book for his birthday. So go
Yay!
out and buy the book.
Hashtag plug.
Sibby.
So yeah, if
Yeah.
anyone wants
Is
to
this
try
your
something
book,
else,
Mike?
you're quite welcome to. But I am on my way to trying to do my own photo challenge.
What was that? What was that, Kieran?
Is that your book?
Yeah, I did it. I made it.
I didn't know you wrote a book.
Well,
Yeah, we'll send it.
well,
puzzle
I
book
made
like
it.
that.
It's a puzzle book.
This is news to me. I've been out of
The link's in the
everything.
description. There's a US and a UK Amazon link.
This is why we said do a challenge of trying to complete it in the queue line.
Yeah.
You can still order it in time for tomorrow to get it for Saturday.
Let's get to Amazon.
I still need to do an unboxing video for you. It's still
But you're signing them.
still in the envelope. I need to do an unboxing
Say
video.
that.
Oh it's no. I just don't have time to do anything like at all but work and come on a podcast with you, lovely people.
I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone coming on, but
Thank you.
we'll wrap it up. We'll let the audience go home. We can chat a bit after.
Anyone got anything else that they want to plug in about their channels? Or
Yeah, if you want to
anything?
plug anything quickly, you can.
You're more than welcome to.
I'll put your links in the description after.
Sorry,
If
Laura.
anybody would like to come and play with 1,000,000 Lego pieces, I have the Brick Barn and the Brick Box, Doncaster and Nottingley way. Come and see us. brickbarn.co.uk or brickboxyorkshire.com.
I love Lego. I love Lego.
Well,
I
towards it.
think
That's
we should
great.
do a Thursday gathering, Ewan. There you go.
Oh, absolutely. You guys will all have to come down. I would love for you all to come down. Just wait, like we're nearly there, about a few more weeks, and the weather will be perfect in the barn, and then we'll get everybody over. I think even
You're at Doncaster.
Yeah, near Doncaster, yeah.
We're down Doncaster soon.
Even better. Look at that. It's a day.
I'll be coming down Donny Dome soon.
Yeah, we're about 20 minutes from Donny Dome, so yeah.
Awesome.
Plug-in complete.
Anybody else want to plug anything in?
We have roller coaster shorts coming. I will be, if you see a man either with his hat on or a mohawk filming a coaster, it could be me. Come and say hello.
And if it's not, you're about to get a shock.
No, you'll know if it's me because you'll see Jen next to me. And then, yeah, I just got a lot of content coming out because we're at Stanford Friday, Towers Saturday, Peterborough Monday, and we're in season now, so we could be in a town near you.
My channel's still going somehow. That's my plug.
I'll put the links in the description if you want to catch up, because I wasn't sure who was coming on and who wasn't, so I couldn't.
Adam and Craig, got anything to say? Okay.
I would just recommend ignoring everyone's vlogs this weekend, all of the opening day, but ignore them because they'll be rubbish. You want to wait until the cool kids have done it a week after. That's when the good vlogs will be out. You want to wait for that.
Nice. Reaching new heights there.
And
No
so just ignore everyone else. They're irrelevant. Wait for next week.
We're gonna finish on this just because he's not said too much this episode. David, have you got any enlightening words before we leave? Any words of inspiration?
No, not massively, but just I'm looking forward to the weekend. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yay!